Hello, everyone, and welcome to Misunderstood. I'm your host, Cy Hansen, and today we are going to get into a brand new show that I am coming up with. That's a odd way to put it, but it's basically a spin off of the Drive Aside show, a little brother, little cousin, if you will, nephew, if you will. And on this show, we're gonna discuss, everything that's misunderstood. Basically, a lot of stuff that maybe people don't really talk about mainstream a lot. Maybe it's not in your mainstream, but it is in mine because it's my wheelhouse, and maybe it's your wheelhouse too. And we're gonna go ahead and get it on and popping. The misunderstood podcast. I'm gonna tell you a little story about how I became so misunderstood. So I'm the type of person who firmly believes in things that are considered a little maybe out of the norm or non-mainstream type, like let's just say ancient history and how the human being that we are today has came about. Did we um, evolve? Did we evolve from chimpanzees and apes into the people we are today? Did we go from that to a hunter gatherer to the Bronze Age, da 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 da, whatever? However, that's skipping ahead quite a bit on that, but I don't think that it really happened that way. There's the Younger Dryas theory, there's the Big Bang theory as far as the whole universe, and there's a lot of different theories as to how the human race has become to be what it is today. And in this podcast, we're going to talk about that, just that. And well, not just that, but we're going to talk about stuff like that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to pop it off today with the first episode. And I'm going to ask three questions, okay? I'm going to ask three questions and I'm going to give my answer. And you, the listener, I would encourage you to answer these questions yourself and then interpretate why you answered these questions the way you did. All right. All right. Now let's get started with the first question. First question: do you or do you not believe in aliens? Past, present, or anywhere in between? Yes, that would be everything in between. But okay. Do you believe in aliens? And that can be whatever your interpretation of it is. Is it little green men? Is it gray ones? Is it the ones from like Predator, where they're trying, where they got heads popping out of their head? Whatever that is, whether you say, or whether that aliens may be, ancient gods from past texts, um, whatever that is. Do you believe in that? Yes or no? Do you believe one that they have been here at some point in time, maybe even currently? Yes or no? And do you believe also that there are still? I mean, I guess it's a two-part question, but I think a lot of people have one. Either your answer is yes or no. Or do you believe that they're still out there somewhere in? Sorry, I have a visual in the galaxy. Are they out there somewhere? Got to be right. Somewhere way out there. I didn't really know I was going to bring visuals to the show for the audience that's watching. All right now. So now, whether your answer is yes or no, I want the why as to why your answer is that way. Not just you believe in aliens. No. Why? Oh, just don't. Well, why? You know, if your answer is no, now you're gonna probably already know what my answer is gonna be on whether I believe in them or not. Absolutely, I do. I believe in the past. I believe in the present. I believe in maybe future. I mean, as in like people from the future. Who knows? That's what I told you all. This is misunderstood. This is what we're talking about. Maybe there are time travelers from the future. I had a friend of mine the other night. It's kind of funny. He posted a picture on Facebook. He's like, "Does anybody know what this is? I have never seen." It was the light, the long flashing lights. It looks like, what in the hell is this? I mean, it's a Starlink satellite, but still kind of funny. But so to answer my to finish my answer on what I believe that one, I think man are descendants of some kind of other extraterrestrial being that came to this planet a long time ago, and I've been doing. Ever heard of the Anunnaki or the Nephilim? If you haven't, look it up. Maybe we'll dive deep into that on an episode here on this podcast on the Anunnaki and the Nephilim. If you haven't heard anything about them, look them up. And maybe some of you that do know a little more about it, you can teach me a thing or two because I'm just kind of learning you know the ins and outs of a lot of this stuff as I go. I'm no archaeologist or astronomer or anything. I'm just a curious mind, son of Tesla, if you will. So, and why do I believe that aliens and there's really no other good extraterrestrials, I guess, is another term you can use. There's really no good. When you say aliens, people automatically think the little green people, which for me it's not necessarily. That's not. I mean, do I think there might be little green people or grays? Probably. I think there's probably a lot of different kinds. Um, and I think some of the ones that were here a long time ago probably got banished from being here because they did some things that they weren't supposed to be doing, and hence the creation of man, and hence actions like the Younger Dryas when a great, um, basically a catastrophe on Earth happened, and it caused water levels on the entire Earth to rise, and a serious great floods, and it caused cataclysms, and it caused a lot of civilizations to be wiped out. And that's why we think that life started at a certain point in time because there's no history that could be found to predate life before that until things like Gobekli Tepe were discovered, and also um, the pyramids and the Sphinx itself have been wrongly dated as to how old we really thought they were, because we don't know. We have no idea. I mean, archaeologists, even the best experts in the world, well, some of them that I know, and I can drop some names later on and put a link in the bio to some of the people that you can check out. Matt LaCroix, Billy Carson are a couple of them. Greg Braden, name a few. Of course, Giorgio Tsoukalos and Eric Von Donkin are some ancient those latter few are ancient astronomers that some people take as just, hey, they're kind of crazy people, but they're actually scientists and they have done a lot of research and they know what they're talking about. And I enjoy just hearing their opinions because it's an alternate opinion of the. It's much more. It's much more boring to just say, "Do you believe in aliens?" No. Like, well, why? Or just don't. I've gotten that answer. Some people are just like, "I just don't." It's like, well, all right, that's boring because I do, and we can have a discussion about it. So, I hope that I don't really. That's not a very elaborate answer, and I guess we're just gonna deep dive. I want you as the listener to answer these questions yourself, and also have a link in the bio to how you can get in touch with me with your perspectives and your thoughts on these matters. Question number 2. Now, these may seem like trivial questions, and ones that are like, really, you're really asking us this, and the answer is yes, yes, I am. And I'm asking you these questions because they are different for everybody. You wouldn't believe how different the questions are for people. For how many answers vary on these questions. All right, next question. Do you believe in Bigfoot? Yes or no? I'll give you a second to answer. Now, if you said no, why? You just think it's crazy that there's a big hairy. If you're in my age and you've ever seen Harry and the Hendersons, you just hope that Bigfoot is real and that you could meet a cool Bigfoot like that one day. And if you haven't seen Harry and the Hendersons, you got to check it out. It might change your opinion on whether you believe in Bigfoot or not, whether you want to believe in Bigfoot or not. Now, there's so many different variations of, what we call Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the Yeti. But the thing about it is, for me, is there have been accounts of this kind of creature in various cultures all over the world, dating back, Native American culture, ancient, in Asia, that's the Yeti, all over the country as far as America, different, sightings. And there are a lot of, with very little footage, if any, and what footage that we've kind of known has been a hoax, or so they say. Like, I watched this one documentary about Bigfoot. I watched it for like an hour and a half where they showed all this evidence as far as how Bigfoot was real and they did this and that. And then the last 15 minutes, they just disproved all the evidence that they had discovered. And I was like, that was really disappointing. Really. That's why anytime I see a Bigfoot doc finding Bigfoot, it's like, well, they didn't because we'd have heard about it by now. So, which may make me sound like a skeptic. I don't know. That's one of the things where it's like, I don't know. I don't. I'll believe it's true until it's proven otherwise, and I also won't completely believe until it's proven to be true. I guess. So my answer is kind of incomplete on that one. I definitely am more of a believer than I am a non-believer, but um, you will just leave that one at it's open to interpretation. All right, we're just gonna jump ahead now. Question number 3: do you believe in a civilization such as Atlantis? Yes or no? And what if you do or if you don't? If no, you're just like nope. Now I would like to know what would you if you say no, what would let's say there was a hypothetical one, hypothetical Atlantis, what would that be to you? Is that like like the show in Aquaman where it's a underwater city with mermaids and stuff like that? Or, what is that why you say no? Was it just like one metropolis in one place and you just like that was advanced with like whatever kind of weird technology, whatever wild version of Atlantis that you think it isn't real? What would that be? And for me, I just kind of like, do I believe there was one? It wasn't called Atlantis. That was an interpretation through um, the Greek language that Plato learned it through. And I don't know if he named. I'm not sure if he named it that himself or if it was Solomon who told him about it. His great 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 uncle Solomon. Well, he didn't tell him about it. Solomon, who predated Plato by a couple hundred years, went to Egypt and met with priests, and they read him these tablets that talked about a great civilization long ago, and Solomon interpreted Egypt. Solomon spoke Egyptian and whatever Egyptian was back then, I guess, ancient Egyptian and Greek, and then he took that from Egyptian and translated it into Greek, and he named the um, the ancient civilization Atlantis. And then later on, Plato, however he came up with the map that he came up with, showed an ancient civilization of Atlantis and where it would have been. And it's now in many circles, it's thought to be it wasn't like just one place. It was kind of more of a worldwide type of. It went from the Straits of Gibraltar, which is on the off the coast of Spain, I believe, all the way down to where the Bahamas are now, all the way across the Atlantic. There was this big civilization stretching that whole way, and um, once that great flood hit, everything was buried. Atlantis, bye bye. That's just one thought. in one theory. But all right, everyone, that's all I got for you today. Take those thoughts, think about them. You can listen back to the podcast and answer the questions again and again and again if you want to. And otherwise, I'll holler at you later. Thanks for watching. Misunderstood.